What was I supposed to start with?
I don't know. Okay, guys, time to go back to the podcast. I gotta,
yeah, I'm supposed to shut down my daughter, whom people say I have a habit of interrupting and not valuing enough in them.
To shut it down. I was waiting for, I don't know how long I was waiting after I said the 7th fact. But I was waiting for you to start so you could... Hey, I like the extra facts. Quit your grouching. And quit your snorting. That was weird. It was a silent
make sure that you edit the snorts out.
Hey!
I don't think she wants her snorts to be out.
Hey now!
For the fans.
Don't do that.
Would you want to leave your snorts in?
I don't care.
Well, we'll just call them farts and leave them in.
Hey! No!
She did not fart out her nose. That would be gross.
And I didn't use my nose either. That was my throat.
Anyway, she's farting in public.
This is public? This is my house. Not my house, but the house I'm living in. Hi!
Hi!
Hi.
Are we ready to talk about the Smurls?
We are ready to talk about the Smurls.
I must play in art today. And, got my clothes dirty because I didn't know we were messing with actual clay. I thought we were messing with different clay. But that...
She didn't know they were messing with clay. She thought they were using clay.
No, I didn't know we were using that clay. I thought it was the Crayola clay, which is a lot less messy than the real, the more expensive, dry clay. That. No. You can't. They want to hear me talk. I'm talking.
I'm not sure. I'm just going to smile and nod and let her say her piece, and then we're going to talk about the Smurls. So, our story begins in West Pittston, Pennsylvania. The Smurl family moved in the duplex next to their parents in 1974. Now, the Smurls consisted of Janet and her husband, Jack. Also living with them were their children, Heather, Dawn, Karen, and Shannon, as well as their German Shepherd, Simon.
Oh, German Shepherd! Please don't tell me the German Shepherd dies. I'm gonna cry.
Now, the first thing they noticed in this house, which they moved into a duplex that was next to their parents, and the first thing they noticed about this house is that the water pipes continued to leak. No matter how many times they were resoldered, the water pipes continued to leak.
Well, that's always interesting when you've got leak pipe.
Furthermore, they noticed that scratches were appearing on the plumbing and the fixtures. Scratches that didn't make a lot of sense. Like something with very strong, long nails was doing this scratching. Now, as things slowly began to develop and they began to realize, this is a bit weird, they turned to the local Catholic Diocese to try to get them to help them.
Where's diocese?
Like a church.
It's like a Catholic district. It'll be I don't even know how, like if it's the 18th diocese or the 37th diocese of the Blue River area or whatever. But basically it's an area of Catholic influence. And there might be 3 or 4 churches in that area. They tried to get the Catholics involved. Well, the Catholics got involved and began to investigate the house, where they had some interesting issues. They heard voices and They were pushed and had strange issues all of their own.
Wow.
But because there was no provenance with the house, they didn't want to do an exorcism.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, if you didn't know what was going on, you wouldn't, right? That's what you don't know. They don't have a proper history of it. That's what provenance means, right?
Right. They don't have it. Yeah.
I understand it.
Yes. They don't understand what could be causing the haunting, whether it's a personal attachment, whether it's a house thing. So.
Did you know that was what provenance meant? Now you do.
See? Mom's smart. Krysta's smart.
A little bit. I don't know. You tell me, Miss B. I don't know how I did on my A reading.
So, and in fact, one of the creatures that supposedly helped was Father O'Leary, but
I'm sorry. One of the creatures.
one of the priests that were supposed to help was Father O'Leary, but Janet Smurl thought Father O'Leary was actually a demon in disguise.
Well, and that's funny because I thought you said creature, not creature. Which was,
And I thought you were about to say my name.
Now, also in the house were supposedly an incubus and a pig-like creature.
Incubus. Dirty incubus.
Incubus is...
I know what an incubus is.
Okay. Well, excuse me. Nye, nye, nye.
Don't fight me today.
So, that is how it all started. It all started with leaky pipes. But it went...
Well, it all started with the hurricane.
Technically, yeah, it all started with the hurricane. That's what got them to move. But
That's fair.
then they started with the leaky pipes, and then it went from there. So before we get too into this, let's take a moment for a word from our sponsors,
Yeah.
and then we will get into the haunting proper. Okay, so let's get into the Smurl haunting proper. Now, like I said, the first thing they noticed was that their water pipes leaked.
I was gonna say, I keep thinking you were gonna say Smurf.
Nope, just Smurl.
Yeah, Smurl. Now, they said scratches also appeared on the fixtures, toilets flushed by themselves, and one spectacular afternoon, the TV burst into flames.
My TV!
They also heard footsteps and music from unplugged radios while empty rocking chairs swayed and experienced foul odors permeating the place, and drawers opening and closing. What was that?
I said, oh, fun.
Okay.
Did you think I said the F word?
Yes, and I was going to have to clean it up.
No. F-U-N. N.
The Smurls also claimed that there was an incubus and a ghostly pig-like creature. Yeah. Well, they tried to get help from the Scranton Roman Catholic Diocese, which said it would consult experts. And Janet alleged she thought a Father O'Leary was helping, but she became to believe that he was a demon in disguise to look like a priest. In 1986, the Smurls brought in the king and queen of demonology for their day,
Demonology with you.
Lorraine and the now late Ed Warren. And demonology, Krysta, is the study of demons and how they interact with the real world.
So like biology and...
So...
Just with the difference.
Now, here's the problem a lot of people have with the Warrens being involved, which is the Warrens try to take every case public. They try to get a book written or a movie made. They try to broker a deal with every case they work with, which makes a lot of people think that the Warrens are a little shady because they're always trying to promote these cases. I have always looked at it as they felt like there are not real in-depth examinations into hauntings like this, and so they were trying to get these showpieces made so that they could point out that, yes, the world we live in sometimes contains ghosts and creepy things. But that camp is pretty well split into two. Either people think the Warrens are kind of shady because they're always trying to get
notoriety.
Yeah, notoriety out of it. Whereas other people think they're just trying to promote these cases that they worked on. Now, this case is split between those who think that it really happened and others that think that it never happened. Now, eventually the Catholics sent a priest named McKenna. Later, he was a bishop to perform an exorcism. 2 unsuccessful exorcisms ensued. The third one appeared to work, but the family later determined that it also had failed.
Gotcha.
And it was around this time that the Smurls contacted the media and a book publisher.
The media with your problem. Why would you go to the media with your problem?
Well, the Smurls at that point were pretty concerned. They were having all these phenomena. They were at least having this very distinct haunting. And it was possible it was more than that at that point. It could have been a ghost. It could have been a demon. They weren't sure, but they knew they had problems.
Sure.
So
Fair.
They were trying to get help, as much of the help as they could. And aided by the Warrens, they opened their home to scrutiny from the legitimate news in the hopes that they could maybe make some headway. Unfortunately, what happened is that they were loudly proclaimed as hoaxers.
Hoaxers? Hoaxers?
There were issues. For example, some of the initial stories varied somewhat as far as what happened when and the levels of the hauntings. So some of those initial stories varied somewhat. But it does, Haunting is one of those things that, unless you film the reactions, people are very much in the moment, and it's hard to remember what happened.
Yeah, I mean, so, like, we've talked about some experiences that I've been near, not necessarily anything that I've personally seen. But it is because your brain really has the ability to trick you with what you saw as opposed to what your brain starts adding into it to try to make it make sense.
Exactly. And on top of that, there's the things that happen in the moment that don't make sense. For example, the ghost of that female pointing at Carrie's husband in that house. It does